Manchester United's preparations for Everton have reached a new level of intensity as Michael Carrick continues shaping this team in his image. The training sessions at Carrington this week have not just been about fitness or routine drills, they've been about precision, mentality, and maintaining momentum ahead of what could be a defining Premier League fixture. Everton away is historically one of the most demanding tests in English football. Goodison Park brings noise, pressure, and a relentless energy that can unsettle even the most experienced sides. Carrick understands that this match will not simply be won on technical quality alone. It will require discipline, intelligence, and emotional control from the first whistle to the last. Throughout the week, Carrick has taken a very hands-on role in training. Observers at Carrington have noted how involved he has been in small tactical details, adjusting player positioning during shape work, pausing drills to emphasize pressing triggers, and encouraging quicker ball circulation under simulated pressure. The message is clear: United must control the controllables. A major focus has been midfield structure. Everton are expected to press aggressively and compete fiercely in central areas. To counter that, Carrick has worked on compact spacing between the defensive and midfield lines, ensuring that transitions are controlled rather than chaotic. When United lose possession, the reaction must be immediate. The first 5 seconds after losing the ball could define key moments in this match. Bruno Fernandes once again stands at the heart of United's preparation. In recent performances, his influence has grown significantly, not only in assists and creativity, but in leadership and tempo control. During training, he has been vocal, constantly demanding higher standards from teammates. His advanced positioning gives United a creative edge, especially against teams that defend deep and look to frustrate. Against Everton, Bruno's awareness between the lines could be decisive. If he can find pockets of space and release runners quickly, United may expose gaps before Everton's defensive block resets. However, Everton will likely look to crowd him out physically, so support from wide players and overlapping fullbacks will be essential. Carrick has been rehearsing those patterns repeatedly in training.
Another major theme this week has been defensive resilience. Everton thrive on direct balls, crosses into the box, and second ball chaos. United's defenders have spent extra time working on aerial duels, recovery runs, and coordinated movement when defending wide areas. Communication has been emphasized heavily, especially when dealing with quick switches of play. Carrick's staff have also introduced high-intensity finishing drills, recognizing that chances at Goodison Park may be limited. Clinical execution could determine the outcome. In tight away games, you may only get 1 or 2 clear opportunities, and United must be ruthless. There's also a noticeable shift in confidence within the squad. The players appear freer, more expressive, yet tactically aware. Carrick's influence seems to blend structure with creativity. He wants bravery on the ball, but not recklessness. He wants aggression in pressing, but not emotional overcommitment. That balance will be critical against Everton's combative style. Another interesting element is squad rotation. Carrick must decide whether to reward recent performers or make adjustments to handle Everton's physicality. The balance between freshness and continuity will matter. Everton's intensity could test stamina levels late in the game, so impact substitutes may play a key role. Set pieces could also prove decisive. Everton traditionally pose a strong threat from corners and free kicks, especially at home. United's defensive organization during dead ball situations has been under scrutiny in past seasons, so additional time has reportedly been spent rehearsing zonal and man-marking combinations. At the same time, Carrick may look to exploit Everton's defensive vulnerabilities through clever attacking routines. Psychologically, this game represents another step in United's rebuild under Carrick. Momentum is fragile.
Winning breeds belief, but consistency cements credibility. A strong performance at Everton would reinforce the idea that progress is not temporary, it's structured and sustainable. The tactical chess match will be fascinating. Will United dominate possession and force Everton to chase shadows, or will Everton disrupt rhythm with aggressive pressing and physical duels? Carrick's preparation suggests he expects a battle, not a showcase.
Who has won the Barclays Manager of the Month for January. Congratulations. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's obviously it's nice. It's shown that we've had a good start, So it's not me, really. Let's be honest. It's not just about me. I think it's about everyone. It's about the staff for sure. It's about the coaching staff, the backroom staff, the players definitely. So yeah, it shows that we've had a good start, which is very pleasing.
It is significantly bigger than the player of the match ones. Have you seen those little ones? They're a lot lighter. So that one is very significant. It is very heavy. Thank you, Barclays, for that. And I know you said it is about your staff as well, but how satisfied have you been with your team and the performance over the last few weeks? Yeah,
the boys have been good. I think it's not easy with change, and to click into gear and to perform the way they have done in different types of games has probably been as pleasing as anything. Obviously, the first two games were, in some ways, they take care of themselves because of the emotion and how everyone's kind of up for them. But the games after them have been, for me, just as good. And to see the boys' reaction, the quality of the play, it gives us a lot of encouragement, really, moving forward.
Those two games against City and Arsenal, you probably don't get masses of time, do you, to sit and reflect and watch them back and enjoy them the way that you would if you were not Manchester United's head coach. How important do you think they were in sort of the run that you've gone on to have?
Yeah, so important. I think so important. Listen, if you can win them games, they're the best games to start with, right? Because you can kind of catapult a lot of emotions and confidence from that, and a belief in the supporters and as well as the players, I think, and the feel good which is vital. So going into them games, it was challenging, and 3 days before the City game coming in, and again, that's why I credit the players for how they've put themselves forward, really, and reacted to change. But certainly them two games, gives you a massive kind of boost of all sorts of emotions to kind of use moving forward, which was the key. After them games are done, it's what happens next, and I think that's what I've been really delighted with the reaction after that.
It's been a whirlwind when you think that we sat down on the 13th of January, which is just a month ago. And Wes, I just want to bring you in here because I'm sure you're not surprised as to what's happened over the last few weeks with Michael in charge.
No, not at all. And I think everybody knew it would be difficult, but the way Michael handles the players, the respect he's got, and the way, sort of the attitude of the players that we've been going into the games. I know Michael would have known it's going to be difficult, but if everybody sticks together, you're not just going out there for yourself. Us fans are involved, and just play your hearts out. And I think it's a difficult one, but Michael's got them to all do that, and you can see the differences on the pitch.
Yeah, we've spoken to a couple of players just today, and all the players that we've spoken to in the last few weeks have said more or less the same things about you. You're a calm guy, you're a nice guy, you speak to everyone, and it must be nice that you're having a really big impression on the squad.
That's the goal in the end, to have and I think connecting with the players and everyone, I think, is important for us all to feel that we're in it together, and whether that's the boys that are starting the games, the boys that are coming on, the rest of the squad, whether that's the staff, certainly the supporters. I think it's what we've become used to for a long period of time in this football club, and it's what makes it special. So we gotta use that, because it's quite unique. So it's things like
the scene. Where do you stand on this? Because look, I think people are very divided, on their opinion of VAR as a whole. But you look at the weekend and you kind of look at it and say, well, this is showing why it's needed.
I just sit back and I watched over the weekend the FA Cup. And it's just so ironic that we're sat here talking this time about not having VAR. We've spoken so much about having VAR in the game, and the reason we have it in the game is because it helps the referees get to the correct decision, whether they've given a correct decision or an incorrect decision. It helps them for the game to be played in the right manner. But I've just couldn't quite get over what we're seeing. You look at the handball that should have been a penalty in the Aston Villa Newcastle game, and I can't understand how they can get it so wrong, because if you watched it closely, the referee looks over at the linesman who's on that side and says something into his microphone and must have said to him, was it inside or out the box? Or inside or outside the box? And they managed to get it wrong. But everybody else in the stadium could see. So are referees now too reliant on VAR, which has made them scared to make a decision? VAR has removed all of the emotion out of the game. You and I were talking before we came on and did the show that I wouldn't want to be a footballer now. And the reason for that is because the emotion has gone. And what I mean by that is that in my career, the big moments that happened for me personally, the big moments of goals when I scored, or a team, we won something, we scored a goal, you can't celebrate instantly now. And it just seems as if it desensitises the game a little bit. And then we remove it at the weekend, and now we're having a conversation about referees again. So it's almost as if we can't win. So if we have VAR, great, but then it's all subjective one week and then objective the next. Then we take out VAR and we reintroduce human error, which before VAR was introduced we were all happy with because we understood that there was an element of human error. But because the Premier League is what it is now, we've had to bring it in. So I don't quite know where it sits at the moment, other than the referees need the help, obviously, because without VAR there were too many decisions that were made incorrectly.
Well, Chris